Welcome to Mark. This is Mark Talking, and today I'm going to talk about the planetary qualifiers that happened this weekend. And we need to remember that all of the PQs here is post first row bans. So yeah, none of these PQs here have the first row. So we're going to see that the meta changed a lot. We're going to see decks that we used to see in set 5, set 3 back into the game right now because we don't have the first row anymore. So those decks can be really good. And as we can see here, we have some differences. We don't have too many Han Solos 2. We have one Han Solo 2 blue here and one here, so only 2. We have 17 PQs and 2 PQs limited. And as we can see here, the only decks that couldn't have the first row here that won this weekend was this 2 Han Solos 2 blue. All of the other decks don't. Actually, we have 3 Han Solos 2 blue. All of the other decks don't play with first row, right? So let's start here with this PQ here that happened. As we can see here, we have Han Solo 1 back to the meta. So we have Han Solo 1 blue with the Force and Han Solo 1 green. Okay, so let's see here the list of Han Solo 2 blue that won this Portland PQ. As we can see here, we don't change too much. We just put it out the first row. Open Fire looks like a good card right now to maybe deal with the space, because we used to use first row to defeat something in the space, and now we can just use Open Fire instead. Here we have only one copy. He's playing with 2 Anakin, 2 Mace, and 2 Rebellious Hammerhead. I like this. Playing with 2 Force Lightning to trigger Anakin Skywalker, so we can use this Force Lightning maybe in units in space. I'm testing Marin with Han Solo to maybe discard Force Lightning or another villainy cards more easy to trigger Anakin. I'm still testing this and need to figure it out if it's good or not. Grogu is really good against space decks. We have Aggro here. Looks good. We need to test to see how the meta goes out with all the first row to Han Solo 2 blue. And Trencher looks a good way to deal with the space. In my test, I won against a bunch of space decks that have like Poe, like Sabine Cielo if he plays more in the space, Luke, Zatavot. But when the swarm, like Vader Yellow, is just really hard to deal if you don't start it with Grogu or something like that. It's really weird matchup. Here we have the same Portland PQ, top 4, James Lane with Yoda Jedi Temple, Yoda Green with the Force. Here we have a bunch of ramp, because we have 3 Spark of Hope, 3 Resupply, and 3 If Coughs. So we have 9 cards to ramp to get this Yoda faster. We have this Neiman Strike, attack with a Force unit, even if it's exhausted. If it gets +1, +0, and can't attack based for this attack. Looks good. We can maybe, if we have maybe we resupply turn 2, we can play If Cough turn 3, then play Neiman Strike to maybe defeat something, maybe lose, or If Cough maybe to attack a K2, something that attack for 4, Itinerant Warrior, I don't know, just to ramp again. So we go to 6 this turn. Next turn we have Yoda's deployed. Don't look that bad, but I think it's not just for this. We can defeat a bunch of things with this. We can play Luke exhausted. Then if we have its resource, we can play this and take for 6 and restore 3. We can do a bunch of things with this, right? What do you guys think about the list? Here we have Han Solo 1 with Force Blue. So yeah, I think a bunch of content creators are talking about this right now, that Han Solo 1 is back to the game because we don't have the Force row anymore. Because Han Solo 1, we need to put one card from our hand to the resource, so we already missed this card. If you use it twice, the Force row will just demolish you, because in the turn of the deploy, you probably will have only one card in your hand that you open and just, okay, I will use Force row, I will discard your card that costs 7, and this is bad for you. But now we don't have it anymore, so looks good to play Han Solo, and looks that the Han Solo 1 blue is the best list, but I'm going to show a bunch of Han Solo 1 green too, because we have a bunch this weekend. Here we have the Power of the Dark Side to trigger Anakin twice, which is really easy because we can use Han Solo's ability, then discard Power of the Dark Side from other resources. Really easy to do that. To the cost 7, we have Luke Skywalker, Han Solo. This one don't play with Amphisnet, not even the Qui-Gon Jinn. Here we have QI'RA, Iden Warrior. Looks a decent deck. I already recorded a video of this deck here on the channel. If you want to play with it, just check out the channel. We have the gameplay there. It's a strong deck. I don't know the counters for this deck yet. We probably have maybe space decks, because we can't deal too much with space. We have only Trencher and Millennium Falcon to deal with that. Okay, we'll have Anakin to trigger twice. We can play Anakin early, deal with Han Solo's ability, but sometimes it's not necessary to win the match against Swarm or all kind of stuff. So Okay, here we have, in the same Portland, we have a Han Solo 1 green. It's not that vault, it's just green with 30 HP base. So this one is the Han Solo pilots, right? We have a bunch of space units, we have a bunch of pilots. Here we have Chewbacca, Han Solo, the Mandalorian, and for sure the cost 7 units because we can play with Han Solo. We have the wing here, which is good to the green side, that we don't have the blue one, because not just we can maybe play Han Solo, defeat something in the ground, but sometimes you don't want this. You just want to create value in the board. Maybe you're playing against hard control, I don't know. Then you just play U-wing, you bring maybe Falcon ready, then 2 units that cost 2, something like that. You can do a bunch of things with it. Looks good. We have the resupply to ramp here. Resupply to 1 is really good. It goes to 40. You can turn 2. You can play QI'RA, something like that. Looks like a good deck. I still need to record to the channel like updated list of Han Solo 1 green. Here we have QI'RA Data Vault that made top 8 in the same PQ. And yeah, QI'RA Data Vault is back too after the first row ban. I played QI'RA this weekend in the showdown. I made a top 4. I lost only to the champion. That was a Sabine yellow. And I'm liking a lot QI'RA Data Vault. I think is a great deck now in the meta. And we're seeing more and more of QI'RA Data Vault in this PQ weekend too. This one don't runs with the Timeline Intervention and Darth Vader from Legends of the Force. It costs 6, but this one will play with 8th Brother. 3 Overrun Barrage and 2 Curving Power looks interesting. I really want to test this one. It's different from my list. I like the Supremacy Tie to deal with the space, and here in my local meta, I think is way better this Sentinel in space than the 3-3 in the ground, because I have a bunch of space decks in my local meta. Here we have, in another PQ now in Perth, we have Rooster Cabbage with Kazuda, blue with Security Complex, not the 30 HP base. This one is different. And okay, this looks good because with Security Complex, you can just play Falcon, then maybe this Falcon here with, because you can play the Falcon, then give a shield to it, then deploy Kazuda. So it's really hard to defeat this one because your opponent can't use Felder Dragon because you have a leader there, and not even can use before you deploy the leader because he's a 3/4, so he can't defeat it with Felder Dragon. And we know that takedown is still there, but we see more Felder Dragon than takedown. And we still have this Falcon too, which is good. Maybe if defeated here with takedown, you can play this Falcon ready, then give a shield and play Kazuda there, and he's just going to hit for 6 every turn. Your opponent can't do something because have a shield there. He needs maybe 2 attacks or another removal, maybe Rival Soul, but it's in the 2 next turns. It's really weird, right? I will record a video with this deck for sure. Looks a strong deck. Let's see. Here we have Planetary Qualifier in Bologna, and I picked this one here to show we have 2 Obi-Wans in the top 8, Obi-Wan blue. This Iden Colossus in the top 8 too. Another QI'RA Data Vault. Hear me out. QI'RA Data Vault will back to the meta like amazing deck. We have another Yoda, but this one is Data Vault, it's not the Force. Another Han Solo 1 green, right? Let's see the list here. We have the Obi-Wan blue Verdance Temple, and we have 2 lists here, but they are different. Look here. But one thing that both have is this Reginald Governor in the main deck, and I'm liking more and more of this. Here in my city, every time I want to try to play with blue, and sometimes you don't have all of the cards, and when I don't have a cost 2, I just put Reginald Governor, because in local meta I think it's good because you know every deck that your friends are playing, so it's kind of easy to counter with Reginald Governor. So I like it. I like this card, and I think this meta, like, we know we're in a stage of the game that we don't have too many surprises. So if you're facing some deck, you already know what to expect. So Reginald Governor can be a good deck. Good card, sorry. So yeah, here in the late game is the same thing. Luke, Yoda, and Kylo run back. This one runs with Anakin, and this don't. But this one, we have just one copy of Pop Dorset to maybe trigger Anakin twice. Probably this will not happen that often because we have only one. I don't know. But yeah, both decks looks good. I need to test after the first throw ban. I didn't play after that, but looks good. Here we have the Iden that made top 8. This is interesting because we have Tobias back, and you might think, okay, but why he's playing with this yellow card? I know that Iden played with yellow card like Zine and Bot Hunter's Crew, but this one have the Smuggle for 5 with Vigilance, so we can play this for 5 from Smuggle, which is amazing. And when you play a non-unit card, you make exhaust a unit that costs the same as or less than the card you played. Use this ability only once each round. So you not just defeat something, you can just exhaust another unit, which is good. Against Swarm decks, I think is good because you can just take down maybe Victor Leader and exhaust another unit that you're going to hit for 3 or 4, something like that. Looks good. We need to hold the early game to go to the late game. I have Super Laser Blast, no 3 Avenger, 2 Nebula Ignition, so we almost have 5 Super Laser Blast. 3 Annihilator because we don't play with green, so we can't play Devastator for 10. So we have 3 Annihilator here. In my city, if I'm going to play this, I need to put 3 direct hit because we have a P8 here that is a pain in the ass. Here we have Yoda Zatavol that is the mid top 4 in the same PQ, and this here in the left is not the side, is from the bottom here because with Zatavol we have a bunch of cards in the list, so it's kind of cut here in the bottom. This list is kind of weird because we have a bunch of one-offs, but I like one-offs, but we have a lot here. We have 1 Quill, 1 Heirloom Lightsaber, 1 Ezra, 1 The Forces With Me, 1 Redemption, 1 Tech. 1 Tech is kind of okay because you can just resource and then play with Smelgo, but this one with Data Vault, I think don't lose too much playing with Data Vault instead of with the Force. We don't have too much to treat with the Force of blue hero side. We have the Ifkov to ramp, but I don't think we have too many other options. Maybe, okay, we have Yoda to the late game, but here we still have a bunch of cards to the late game too, right? I liked both lists. I think that Vault is a good way because we have plus 5 HP compared to the 28 HP base with the Force. Looks good. Need to test. I just think I don't like too much the Squeal because we have a bunch of green cards, but we still have only one, so kind of whatever. Here we have Sabine ran ECL that won the Bologna PQ, and this one I choose to show here because I never show Sabine because I think Sabine is the same deck as always. Like, we already know what Sabine does, we already know the list, but this one looks different. We have one Jerome Dodona here that looks like a lot like set 1 Sabine. We have Metas Ramon that looks a lot like set 1 Sabine, and this one runs with Isla Sakura in the main deck. 1 Isla Sakura to maybe ECL to defeat something. You can ECL defeat your in a mirror match. You can defeat Poe if you have the coordinate, and without lose your Isla Sakura. Looks good, but the problem is that she dies to record this ability just for 5. But looks interesting. We have 1 Yoda's Lightsaber and 2 Yoda's Lightsaber. Really different. Here we have Han Solo 2 Data Vault, and I really think Han Solo 2 green is a good way to go now with all the Force stroke, but this one looks really different. This is a Han Solo 2 green Data Vault that don't want to play more, like, too much in the late game. We have a bunch, like, in the late game, we don't even have the Crate Dragon here. We don't even have HAN1. He really wants to win fast. So here we have 3 Heroic Sacrifice, 3 Tender Assault, that is attack with a space unit. If you do attack with a ground unit, and that ground unit gets +2/+0, so you can do a bunch of damage. We can play black 1 to 1 with Poe Demon turn 2. Then maybe turn 3 you play something else. You can just use this Tender Assault to do more damage. I really like black 1 with Poe because you can play Poe for 3 turn 2, create the X-Wing and put it as a pilot in the black 1, so you can attack and still ping damage with black 1 because now we have a Poe pilot. We have 4 calls here, which is interesting. 1 armor to the teeth, really aggressive this list. I might test it for sure. And now talking about Saint Medard in France, here we have 2 different decks that I want to show, and we have more Han Solo 1 Data Vaults. And the list that I want to show here is Han Solo 2 Blue Security Complex and this Poe Demon Yellow. So here we have the Han Solo 2 Security Complex that I said. Looks interesting, looks really aggressive too. We can play like maybe Phantom 2 in the space as a 5/1 with shield because we have Security Complex, and maybe we can guarantee that this Phantom will take at least for 10. Looks interesting. Have Grogu to play turn 1 for sure. We can play Tunis turn 1. We can play this Heroic Renegade as a 4/1, then play Soldier of the 500 Battalion. Looks interesting because we can play this Heroic Renegade for 5/1, then give a shield and still play this one. So we have 2 units in the board. If our opponent wants to defeat some people, will defeat this soldier here because they don't have the shield. And it is, if he's attacking with, if he plays like maybe a Yaddle that is a 2/4 or Gunga that is a 2/5, not even can defeat any of this unit, which is good. Looks interesting. Looks like a good way to beat the meta, like all of these 2-4 units that we have now, right now in the turn 1. Really interesting. We have Guerrilla that we can attack, that we can play for 5. We have Han Solo, then play ready for it to attack for 6 maybe. We have just do it to ramp if we're playing against ramp decks. Looks really interesting. This idea, I might test it for sure. He will have the pool Demoriel that I said. He faced a Cad Bane in the final, and Cad Bane against aggro deck is so good. So it's supposed to be a really bad matchup for him, and that's why I think he lost. But looks interesting, this list. I think I never saw it before. We have this card that I didn't even know what this does. While you control another cunning unit, this unit gets shielded. Okay. Yeah. He probably wants to play a bunch of like 2 cost 1 units in turn 1. Play maybe 2 units in turn 2. You can play this one with shield and another cost 1. Looks interesting. Really looks like a really aggressive. We can play Poe as a pilot in turn 1 and still play a cost 2, something like that. Interested list. I might test it too. Here we have Han Solo 1 blue. Another one. This one is a little bit different than the other one. Here we have Qui-Gon Jinn and Memphis Nest instead of 2 Han Solos. And we have the Merciless Countess. I think this is the main difference. Maybe Obi-Wan, I don't remember if the other one had the Obi-Wan. I like Obi-Wan because in the turn of deploy, you need to be aware of, because you really want to go to 7 resources, but sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you just can't deploy Han Solo right away, because your opponent, maybe you play a mirror match and he can have 7 resources and you're not, because maybe you have more action, something like that, I don't know. Or maybe you play against something that have coordinated, maybe play Plo Koon if you're Han Solo, so you need to protect your Han Solo. You really don't want to lose your Han Solo that easy. So you can just play Obi-Wan, then now you have a big Sentinel that is hard to pass through it. Your opponent can't defeat Han Solo with Plo Koon. He can defeat Obi-Wan, but at least Obi-Wan will have the one defeated. Looks interesting. I like this. We still have the QI'RA if you don't play that you can play in the last turn to protect. But if you don't, you have the Obi-Wan. Here we have this Assange Venture Stark and Tal that made top 8 in Middlesbrough, I think is how I say it. This one looks really different. Look at this. We have 2 yellow cards just to start here. We have a sneak attack and tip the scale. So sneak attack we're going to pay 4. So it's not to reduce the cost. It's just to play something ready. Maybe Devastator, Ruthless Raider. We have Piet so we can ready our units. Or black units or villain units. We have Banshee. We have Assange to deploy Banshee, maybe to attack for a bunch. We can play PA, like I said, to exhaust this, to ready our unit with our leader pilot. We have the Tragedy of Plagueis, which is interesting. I think I never saw this with this deck, with this card. Choose a friendly unit for this phase. For this phase, it can't be defeated by having no remaining HP. An opponent choose a unit they control, defeat that unit. Looks interesting. I still need to test. I don't know the turn that he wants to use this. Probably should be in the Assange, because he can deploy, like I said. He can attack. He can try to defeat this Modi to ready. So, but he don't want to the opponent to defeat this. Yeah, we need to figure it out how to play with this. We have Helena Carissa that made top 4 and Vittoria Gasteiz. Look at this. I think if I face opponent playing with this, I just don't know what to expect. What Lando do, you can his action, you just exhaust him, play a card using Smuggle, it costs 2 less if it resource you own and control. Okay, here from Smuggle we have Hotshots, we have Cassian and Armed to the Teeth. I think it's just this 3. Actually, we have the Millennium Falcon too. Yeah, there's this 4 cards, so I don't think we're going to trigger this too much. Maybe we can play like Cassian for 3 ready, which is insane. This deck looks really aggressive. We have Babu Freak to buff to attack with our units. We have BD1, R2, and this R2 pilot, so we can take for 4 with this 2 and 3 with BD1. With the Babu Freak's ability, we can be really aggressive here. I think QI'RA should be bad to him. But yeah, it looks interesting. We have Break-In to pass through QI'RA, like I said, but we can't use Babu Freak to attack with Break-In here with the droid. But yeah, the good thing is that we can deploy Lenny Carson in the same turn of Sabine, so because he's for 4, is a 2/5. Yeah, it looks like a glass cannon deck, like really aggressive, that probably lose the force Like if you don't win fast, you're probably going to lose because you don't have too much to do in the late game. You just put a bunch of pressure. If your opponent holds, it's kind of hard to back to the game. Here we have a Gar-Saxon yellow with Nabat Village that won a PQ, and the same PQ here of this Lando Calrissian. Yeah, Gar-Saxon yellow, I don't think we have too much to say here. It's really standard here, the list. We don't have too many differences. Maybe in the set where we have Commandeer, there's a card that will have more when Django Tarkin Tower was a thing. But instead of this, I don't think I have too much to say here. Here we have a Troll Yellow. I think we already know that Troll Yellow is a good deck, but this one is different because this is not with the Force. This is just yellow with the 30 HP base. We have for sure here the Legacy Run with 2 Sneak Attack, QI'RA that we can trigger the Legacy Run. We can play Legacy Run for 4 if we have Krennic in the board. But this list is different because we have Chin and Flurry. We can play Darth Vader, we can play Anakin with Chin and Flurry to play with Ambush, maybe Chin Hot with Ambush. We have 3 Lurking Typhon, so we have Cad Bane, which is an amazing card. Looks interesting, this one. I still prefer the first one, I think, with Karis, with Thousand Assassin, I think. The Manchu is good, we can deal with Typhanton. With this one, we not even can defeat Typhantons. We can with, like, by attack with the Legacy Run, by attack with the Geonosis Patrol. We don't have the minus something, only with Anakin. Looks interesting, I might test too. Here we have the boss data vaults, the one PQ there. This looks a lot like Darth Vader the Green too. It's almost the same thing, but with the boss we have for sure this bounty upgrades. We have this Bounty Hunter's Query, Death Mark. So with these ones we can, we can bring something to the board, maybe another Technician to ramp. We have Death Mark to draw 2 cards, or maybe 4 if we have boss deployed. We have Price on Hand to ramp 2. We have 9 cards to ramp here. Really good. I love boss stats. I think it's one of the most fun decks in the game. But the problem is that the dead draws. Sometimes you just draw, like I play one in a weekly here in my city, like in set 4, I think, and it's kind of weird because sometimes you just draw like. I ramped a lot, but I didn't draw a single late game card. Just draw like low cost or more ramps. I draw like I think I draw like the 9 ramp cards in a gameplay that I play against Gar-Saxon ECL. Was bad. Sometimes this happen. This is the thing about playing Zata Vault, is less consistent, and this is the thing about playing with ramp decks. Sometimes you don't want anymore the ramp cards and you just draw them. It happens, but it looks like a strong deck. Want to PQ? Go ahead. It is a fun deck. Here we have Yoda Jedi Temple, another one with the Force, and this one is really different. We have Lothwolf, we have Clone, we have Resupply Carrier to ramp more, so we have Spark of Hope, Resupply and Resupply Carrier. This one done plays with Evekov. I might test this one too. I really like this Resupply Carrier. He's not playing with Shatterpoint, he's playing with Vanquish. So he probably wants to... I don't know why he's not playing with Shatterpoint. Like, he can use the Force here. He don't use too much, to be honest. We have the Yoda Lightsaber to heal, QI'RA, then Itinerant Warrior, and then the next unit we can use the Force Yoda. We have like... Maybe he wants to keep the QI'RA loop, and that's why he's not playing with Shatterpoint. I don't know, maybe he struggled in a game because he tried to defeat something with Shatterpoint and he didn't have the Force for some reason and he lose by that and he decided to play with Vanquish. I got it. Sometimes this happen and it's kind of weird when it happened, but I would not say that I hate the Vanquish, to be honest. I like the Vanquish too. Here we have a Qui-Gon Jinn that my top 8 in Qui-Gon Jinn Blue, and look to the list. The list looks a lot the Han Solo 1 Blue. I think the main difference here is the sneak attack for sure, because we can play sneak attack, then play something ready, hit the base, then bounce this unit to our hand with Qui-Gon Jinn's ability, so we not even lose the unit from sneak attack, which is amazing. And you can do some trick plays, like pretend that you have like 5 resources. You can use a sneak attack. So 5 resources you can play Plo Koon, but you can use a sneak attack, then play maybe a cost 6, maybe Anakin, maybe Dappa Blabba. Then attack, bounce this unit to your hand, then play Plo Koon, because now you're playing unit that costs less than the unit that you bounce. So you can do that. This is a trick play that you can do with Qui-Gon Jinn. So, but if we put it out, the sneak attack and maybe Zappa is all of the other cards we can see in Han Solo 1 blue. I don't know. I think if you want to play with yellow blue force, Han Solo 1 blue looks a better choice, you know. And here we have Grand Crystal Jedi City that made top 4, and no, it's not the same, it's different in Lansing PQ. This one looks interesting too. We have this Rush Clovis that we didn't see too much this card. This can be really good in Crystal, because we can use the ability here to ready, and you have raid 2, so this can attack for 5. And anyway, you still have the on attack here. If the defending player controls no ready resources, create a battle droid token. Sometimes this happens. Looks interesting. We have Grand Crystal attack for 4 that we can use the ability in turn 2. We have TIE Phantom that we can't use the ability, but it's a TIE Phantom, so sometimes your opponent just can't deal with it. We have Darth Vader that we can put it there. We have TIE Bomber. We can play TIE Bomber turn 1, then play Darth Vader as a pilot, then we can attack, then use the Grand Crystal ability and attack it again. Looks interesting. No good to stop something. I will test this list for sure. And this is it. This is all of the list that I have for today. What are you guys thinking about all of the PQs? And if you go to the Shrew competitive hub and search for Han Solo green, you're going to see that we have a bunch of Han Solo 1 green and Han Solo 1 blue this weekend. We have Raid Data Vault 2 and a bunch of top 8s. We have the QI'RA Data Vault and a bunch of top 8s. The meta is changing. We're back to the Data Vault. We're back to Rey. We're back to QI'RA. We're back to Han Solo 1 Data Vault. We're back to Han Solo 1. The meta looks healthy. We need to test more and more. This was the first PQs, the first weekend of PQs. We're almost close to the next regional that is going to happen in Spain, and there we're going to have like the real meta, I think. So this is what do you guys think about all of the lists? What list you're playing right now? So say here in the comment, and see you in the next video.